Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to my puppet comedy show. If Jeff Dunham can make millions of dollars, why can't I? Only with 1,000% less racist jokes. Meet my dummy puppet, Snappy. Hey, you're the dummy. Hey, now, Snappy, that's not nice. I don't get paid to be nice. I don't get paid at all. Well, will you just say hello already, Snappy? Hello already, Snappy. Now cut that out. I've had just about enough of your tomfoolery. Suck it. Will you just introduce the show for us, please? Puppet Master commentary on this episode of Attacker
Attention planet Earth and beyond. Stay tuned for Attack of the Killer Podcast. 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 Time for the show. Yay.
What's happening, all you mofos out there? I'm Insane Mike, your puppeteer for Attack of the Killer Podcast, episode 216, the Patreon requested Puppet Master commentary episode. This is not like our normal, usual shows. For our special Patreon suggested commentary episodes, what we do is we watch the movie and we talk along with the film, sharing trivia, making jokes, sharing our experiences with the movie, blah, 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 whatever. But what we normally do on this show is that we are a horror movie themed podcast where a group of friends get together, we pick a topic, we discuss films within that topic, and usually there might be spoilers on a regular episode, but you know what? There's actually going to totally be spoilers on this episode since we're watching the movie all the way to the end, so there you go. This very special episode was requested by our attacker, Andrew Moller. So thank you, Andrew, for making us watch this movie.
Thank you.
It's been a long time since I've watched any of the Puppet Master movies, with the exception of the remake one, or the new one, whatever you want to call it. So I've been wanting to rewatch the series. And it's been so long since I've seen part one, so this is going to be a blast. So now you out there too can make us watch a horror movie of your choosing by going to jointheattackers.com and become an attacker today. There are many different things you can get by becoming an attacker, depending on the tier that you choose. You can get bonus episodes. So you can have Attack of the Killer podcast once a week instead of every other week like those normal humans. You can get special videos, get our YouTube series, Insane Mike's 1 Minute Top 10 list, or Killer Critiques, plus a whole lot more, including some new perks. Jason, you want to tell them about that?
Oh, man, I'm so excited. We get to roll out some new perks. You know why? Because we're crazy, and we are gluttons for punishment. And I don't know why we just keep adding stuff to Patreon. Maybe it's because we love you guys so much. But we got some... This first one we've been wanting to do for a long time, and we just finally getting around to doing it. But just for signing up for the $1 tier, you get to have an official attacker certificate and membership card. I know Mike's been pushing for this one for a long time, and
yeah.
Why? What makes you?
Because I grew up in the age of you throw money in an envelope, you mail it away to your favorite thing of choice, and you become an official member of that fan club, and you get cool things like a cheesy certificate and membership card. As a matter of fact, I still have my close personal friends of Al certificate and membership card to the Weird Al fan club, and I even still have my all of my Dr. Demento certificates and membership cards as well. But like all the classic TV horror hosts used to do that stuff. And I've seen what those cards look like online and stuff. They're just so cool and so fun. You can put them in your wallet and make yourself feel cool.
Yeah, totally. That's what they're for. And then we got a couple new stuff for the big tier, the $10 tier. Mikey, I've always wanted to. I know we're all very artistic and stuff, but Mikey, he's been drawing comic books and stuff since he was a little baby boy, a little baby insane, and I've been wanting to find something for him to do, and it just finally
I need more to do.
Yeah, and so we're gonna do this called Mikey's Monsters. And for everyone in that tier, he's going to do a comical drawing of you as a monster.
Yeah.
Some pen and ink drawing. It's pretty. And he did one of us four. And I'll post that up pretty soon, and you'll all get to see it. But it's
going to say where people are going to be able to see that at.
Everywhere that you see the stuff you see now, which is everywhere.
Facebook's website, you name it.
And then lastly, we're going to do this other one in the $10 tier. We're going to do something called the Monthly Horror Hangout Show and Tell. So something where we can all do a little video hangout chat. I thought maybe we'd all could bring up to 3 items and show and tell. You know, you got a new toy, you got a new Blu-ray, you got something you want to show off, and we can all hang out and talk about your cool new thing. And you can do that with the podcast crew. So those are some new things coming soon. Stay tuned. And all you got to do is go over to jointheattackers.com to check those and all the other awesome perks out.
Yes, that's right. Jointheattackers.com and become an official attacker today. Get all those perks and so much more by, again, going to jointheattackers.com. Now it is time for you to meet my collection of puppets, the podcast crew. Bet you didn't know this podcaster is a local hero. He was at the bank the other day when it was being held up by a sock puppet at gunpoint. He saved the day by disarming it. Tad, everybody.
Hey, thanks for listening.
For his nephew's birthday party, he was told to hire a puppeteer. It was hard to hire a puppeteer on short notice, but he managed to pull some strings. Jason.
Oh my gosh. Hey, thanks everyone for tuning in.
He was going to put on a sock puppet show for the local children, but he got cold feet. Andrew.
Jesus. I would have taken a hand up my ass joke over that one, man. Oh.
Keeping it clean for the children. Okay. If Hollywood made a movie where what's that? Oh. If Hollywood made a movie where pop figures came to life, ripped themselves out of their packages, and went on a killing spree, it would be his worst nightmare. Not for the killing spree part, for the fact that the pops would no longer be mint in package. Hey, everybody, it's Blake!
God damn it. Aw.
And so true.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the show, man.
Yeah, what have you been up to?
Being safe.
Cool, good answer.
All right. Okay. With that said, this episode is sponsored by the coolest streaming service around, Shudder. Get Shudder now for all your horror needs. Now, in the 80s, you weren't a true horror fan unless you were reading Fangoria magazine. In the 50s through the 70s, it was Famous Monsters of Filmland. That was the horror badge of honor. Nowadays, it's Shudder. All horror for all horror fans. Now, us here at Attacker the Killer Podcast is offering a month for free. You can enter our promo code AOTKP, and you can check out Shudder on us for a whole month. Because we love you.
That's amazing.
It is. Again, that promo code is AOTKP. Check it out. Do it now.
Do it now.
I always hope that he's going to do
Yeah,
that.
I know,
when
yeah.
you say it, yeah.
Now it's time to turn it over to Tad for What We Watched.
Well, somehow Jason claims he doesn't have a very big list. I don't believe him, but I'm going to kick it off with him. Jason, what have you watched?
Okay, you're asking for it. So I watched 2 movies in the last 2 weeks, and they were both Friday night when I watched Joe Bob, his return, Slumber Party Massacre 2.
Woo!
You know, after watching it, I'm like, I think this is the first time I've seen it.
Really?
I know. I thought I'd seen it
Wow.
before, but it must have just been the first one I've seen a bunch because it's awesome too. But
Yeah.
yeah, Slumber Party Massacre 2. It was great. I don't know about. I take that back. I don't know if it was great, but it was.
It's great.
It's great with Joe Bob.
It's great with Joe Bob. Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like every time I turn on Shudder, it's on the Slashix channel. So I've seen it like
Yep.
in parts about 12 times this past month because I'm always just flipping through those 3 channels. But it was nice to see it from beginning to end.
My stupid job gets me home like in the middle of the first movie, so I need to go back and watch all the Joe Bob stuff. But man, I love that movie. And you know what? Like,
No, I could see you liking this movie.
but here's the thing, and I was thinking about this too. You know, a lot of horror fans, especially 80s horror fans, right, are probably at least familiar with this movie and the premise of this movie for just how wacky it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many horror fans out there even remember part 3? Anything about part 3? I don't. I've seen it a few times. I have the box set. I don't ever remember anything about part 3.
Some preppy killer,
part 2
right?
is glued into my brain. What's that?
Well, there's a lot more personality to like the killer in the second one as opposed to the third one. Because like in the third one, it's just like some preppy little fucking little yuppie turd.
This is very true.
And in the second one, you got this really outlandish, I don't know, some hybrid.
Andrew
Andrew
Dice Clay
Elvis.
wannabe.
Yeah, Elvis. Andrew
Very
Dice
much.
Clay with like a, I don't know, this. I don't know any other guitar that was be similar to that. I mean, obviously, other than the fact that it's got a fucking drill bit on the end of it. But yeah, pretty much Andrew Dice Clay, much skinnier. But
I
it's got a
want
lot
to
more
take a second and just call out Andy because apparently he doesn't watch Joe Bob. What the hell, man?
Yeah, what's going on, Andy?
It's not that I purposely avoid it. It's just like I never got into it. I mean, I'm sure if I watched it more, I would probably be this huge, adoring fan like the rest of you guys. But I don't know why.
Well, that is what would happen. That's why you need to do it.
Do it now.
Do it now. And then I also said the second feature was Victor Crowley, and it was such a blast.
Oh, that
'cause
crew was awesome.
everyone was there.
Everybody was there. It was awesome.
And just seeing Adam Green being all smiley and blushy and gushy, it was great.
But does Felicia Rose ever shut her mouth? And I don't mean like talking. I mean just her mouth is gaped open the whole time. I mean, I know she's made a career on that iconic wide mouth open shot at the very end of Sleepaway Camp.
I guess I didn't notice in her being a mouth breather, but I thought she was pretty delightful in spite of all of her things. But yeah, no, she was great. Everybody was great. All of the crew being there was awesome. And Joe Bob doesn't hold back, and that's great.
No.
He just gives it to him.
I think the coolest, well, man, that's tough. They were all cool, the guests. But Tiffany Shepness has got
She was good.
so much of a outgoing personality that she was a lot of fun to listen to. But Q, I mean, just being such a fanboy of Impractical Jokers, having him there was really awesome too. He was really funny.
It's funny to sort of see Kane like not sort of shy and quiet and subdued compared to what we normally know him as. Like when he's in a room full of people, he wasn't the loudest.
Yeah, it's true.
And yeah, like I said, I love that Joe Bob just he stuck it to Adam asking the questions that we all wanted to know, like why that cut, why, and getting answers was nice for a change to get answers from the actual people. So
yeah, I hadn't had that much fun watching that movie since the time we saw it in the theater with Adam.
Yeah, like every time I've seen that movie, it's been awesome. So I don't know if I ever want to watch it again.
And then lastly, we're recording this on Monday's August 17th, but last night Tina and I just watched the first episode of Lovecraft Country on HBO, and it was wonderful. It was awesome. I can't wait to watch more. So
it looks awesome.
Yeah. It's really good. It's really good, guys. Really good.
Which tier on Patreon do we have to subscribe to get someone's HBO password?
We'll talk with the lawyers and find out what we can do on that.
But I mean, you got to subscribe to Shudder. Everybody go to Shudder.
Absolutely. Well, that's what I watched. Big list.
All right, Andy, what have you watched?
I got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 things that I want to talk about, so I'll kind of go quick. Most recently, I watched Framing John DeLorean on Hulu, which is actually, it's the way that it's set up. It's like really weird. It's almost like a 2-hour unsolved mysteries segment where it's just like it's reenacted. It's got actual footage, then reenactments, and then the people doing the reenactments are, giving their own 2 cents about what they're reenacting, if that makes sense. Alec Baldwin plays John DeLorean, and we also get a performance by Dana Ashbrook from Twin Peaks, who plays a FBI agent. Interesting documentary about, kind of how like the U.S. government kind of set him up, but he was acquitted anyway. And just the story of, the DeLorean, and I figured it's worth watching because the DeLorean is a defining part of my childhood, because we all kind of grew up on Back to the Future, and interesting series of events that happened. Like for instance, his son, you'd think he'd be like, they'd have like a little bit of money left over, but no, this kid, he went up from growing up on Fifth Avenue in New York and this giant farm in New Jersey. Now he lives in like a 1-bedroom apartment with like 2 dogs, and then like it's got like a little bit of a loft, and it's just really grimy and shitty, and he swears all the time. But this is like a major car. I mean, John DeLorean was responsible for the GTO. I mean, yeah, a lot of people don't know that. They just thought, but he was like a major engineer for GM back in the 60s, and very interesting stuff. Me and the wife, we finished What We Do in the Shadows season 2, and if you're not watching that show, start watching it because it's freaking hilarious. Every character is awesome. Colin Robinson. I'm partial to Nandor. When he says we're just taking a nice human shit together, it's great. Everything is human when they describe things. It's just so damn funny. With the wife, I watched a show called Love on the Spectrum, and it's absolutely this is like the furthest thing from horror, but I wanted to mention it because it's a really cute show. It has to deal with people who have either like severe Asperger's or autism or any kind of mental disability, and they're basically they're set up. They want to date and they want to fall in love and they want to have emotional connection just like anybody else does. And it's so cute to just see them go out. I mean, some of them don't work out, and some of them do, but it's a really heartwarming show. I mean, if you need some of that in your life, and I think we all do, considering what what 2020 is. Another one, I watched an old school slasher called Final Exam from 1981, and it's just a low budget slasher that's set on a college campus during finals. Not much to really talk about this one. I can say that I've seen it. I don't really care to watch it again. And there's no real backstory to why the killer's actually killing. He's just killing because, well, he's a killer and he kills. Okay. I watched Dark Tower from 1989 with Jenny Agutter. She was the chick from Logan's Run. It's about a architect that was killed, and this movie is not that good, so don't watch it, and that's all I want to say. I watched Public Enemies from 1996, and this one's actually not too bad. It has to deal with the 30s bank robbers from uh, uh, it was Ma Barker and her, her four sons that were robbing banks, and turns out they robbed more. They got more money than Clyde Barrow, Pretty Boy Floyd, Machine Gun Kelly, and Dillinger all put together. But it has a very early role by James Marsden as one of the sons. Before Cyclops, before any of that.
Sonic.
Yeah. Eric Roberts, Teresa Russell, Alyssa Milano is in this. Frank Stallone. He didn't do any singing, but he did. But I will spoil this. But he does break Alyssa Milano's neck and chuck her into this algae-filled pond, which is just hilarious because he just does it with like complete disregard. He's not gentle at all. The last one I want to talk about is 3:15, The Moment of Truth. It's kind of like 3 O'Clock High, only, well, obviously it's a fucking quarter after, but it's more gang related, and it's about this fight that has to happen, after school, and it actually has a pretty good cast in it as well. Adam Baldwin, you remember him as Animal Mother from Full Metal Jacket, and Deborah Foreman, what's that, Valley Girl. And it also has very early performances by Mario Van Peebles and very, very early Gina Gershon. And it's worth one watch. But yeah, those are the ones. That's what I watched. That's what I wanted to talk about. I'd say watch Framing John DeLorean. Definitely watch What We Do in the Shadows. Watch Love on the Spectrum. And Public Enemies and 3:15 are worth the watch if you're in the mood.
I was sort of hoping 3:15 was a prequel to the Stone Cold Steve Austin story, 3:16.
Yeah.
I just whooped your ass.
Yeah.
Moment of truth just means I'm going to whip your ass.
That's what I was going for. Thank you. Okay, Blake, what have you watched recently?
I watched Trilogy of Terror, and I had never seen that before.
Awesome.
It was watchable. I didn't mind it. I think maybe it was, I don't know if it's one of those movies that you had to watch it like growing up to really enjoy just the feel of it. I mean, there's some puppet action at the end, which I'm always a fan of, but I had to take a second glance that was Karen Black in that movie.
Yeah.
So I was like, the next day I was like, I'm going to watch House of Thousand Corpses. So I watched that. I watched Bride of Chucky.
You're in like a doll mood or a doll and puppet mood.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, and then I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre like right before this. So I was just kind of flipping around and I was like, I don't know. Like I'm sure everyone goes through those spells where they're just like, I know this movie will be good. I'm just going to watch it so I can kind of do something in the background, just something there. But I don't know. There's tons of movies that I need to watch, and I don't know. It's hard to push yourself to get involved in something new, just like a new TV show that, people tell you to watch, and you're like, oh, I'll get to it. And then, 2 years later, but.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I have no motivation. I can't help it.
I get the same way. It is tougher to watch something new because it can end up sucking. And it's like, I just want to watch something comfortable that I know because that's just easier.
Yeah, especially when you don't have much time to waste. So you're like, well, do I do this or do I don't know.
Yeah.
Just depends.
So is that everything you watched recently? Or I guess a good sampling?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of, other than me watching 600 Pound Life, but that doesn't really, that's scary.
Horrifying, yeah.
But, so is Hoarders. So I've been watching those at work. So yeah, that's pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
That's the real terror.
So Mike, what have you watched recently?
Oh man. Well, Jason didn't mention it. I assumed he didn't mention it because it's TV, but then he brought up a TV show anyway. So him and I have been watching season 2 of Umbrella Academy.
Oh yeah.
And we're taking it slow. We're not marathoning it or anything. Maybe 1 or 2 episodes a night. So I think we're only on like episode 5 or something like that.
I feel like we should be though.
Marathoning it?
Right? Wouldn't that? You think that would help?
It might help. We
It's
kind of.
good.
It's good. It's good, and you're already invested in the characters if you like the first season. So it's got that going for it. I personally had an epiphany with this series of like, these are kids that have been trained all their lives to be superheroes and to save the world and save humanity day in and day out. Granted, they're very broken characters because they were raised by a major asshole. But all of that is out the window in their adult lives. They all make extremely selfish, personal choices at every turn that will only blow up in not just their faces, but in the faces of the entire world.
Well, maybe that's the lesson learned. That's
I guess,
nature, right?
I guess, but it doesn't make me want to follow these characters much longer. Is my problem. So.
When we know that The Boys season 2 is around the corner, so that
and renewed for 3.
Oh man!
Oh wow!
And Jensen Ackles from Supernatural will be in the 3rd season apparently.
Oh shit!
I can't wait for people who like watch Supernatural on the CW to turn into The Boys and be like, this is not
this is not what I
this
thought.
is not Supernatural.
Okay,
Super
so
violent.
then yeah. So as far as the movies I watched, Brandy and I, we watched Barbarella.
Hey.
Why?
Because that movie's awesome, classic.
Was it
movie.
free on Pluto or Tubi?
Right.
I think it's on.
Is it
Was it
just
on
on?
Tubi? I don't remember.
Did it have a riff tracks?
What is wrong with Barbarella? All y'all, come on! You get to see Jane Fonda's boobs.
Yeah, we have the internet. We can do that without watching the movie.
Look at him right now.
No,
I
seriously,
I can get a
very
text
fun.
message from her, and she can show me her boobs.
I don't want to see him now.
Yes, you do.
Speaking of sock puppets,
I'd just say,
What did he do?
But the aesthetic of Barbarella is awesome, fun, very, very cheesy
Sagarella.
60s. I'm moving on. Screw you guys. Come on. God damn it. I also, I mentioned it in a bonus episode, but rewatched Night of the Demons, which is always a good time. But again, how it had that revelation of like, as much as I think Angela has become the icon of that franchise, and as much as I love that character, that first movie has a lot more Linnea Quigley demon action than it does Angela demon action.
As unbiased as you can be,
yeah,
there might be more Linnea.
It is, and and as a Linnea fan, as a huge Linnea fan, I'm okay with that. But it's interesting because Linnea is the first one to get possessed. She passes it on to Angela during that kiss scene. Linnea is the one that puts the lipstick in her boob. Linnea does most of the stuff in that movie until like maybe the final act. You see more of Angela in demon mode, but I just think it's interesting that Angela became the iconic character of that franchise, and
Are you
Linnea
sure
Quigley,
it's not the voice that's helping her? That
it's
really
probably the voice, and that voice is done by. If you are familiar with the movie as I am, the opening scene, or the not the opening scene, but the first scene with Linnea Quigley and Angela when they're in the grocery store and the 2 clerks are checking out Linnea's butt while Angela's stealing the food. One of those 2 clerks is the guy who does the Angela demon voice.
Was he the one in Witch Trap that actually did the same voice?
Yes, it was the lead, the male lead of Witch Trap. Cool. I was going to mention that, but I didn't think a whole lot of people saw Witch Trap. So
Yeah,
I love that movie.
well, Mike, how I owe you a movie watch?
Okay.
I've never seen Night of the Demons.
Whoa!
Oh, maybe that should be the one.
That surprises me.
I know.
You've never seen
It's-
Have you seen Night of the Comet yet, though? You haven't seen Night of the Comet yet either, have you?
No, I don't.
It's one of my
I'm afraid
favorite
of.
movies.
I'm afraid of the dark, guys.
Maybe we could
'Cause
double
they both
feature
have
him
night in
with
the
Night of
title.
the.
Yeah, we had to have a night of the marathon.
You have to watch Night of the Demons.
Ooh, that's good. That has to hurt your voice after a while, right?
It's
Okay,
basically the same voice as Darkseid from fucking Justice
Friend?
League, too,
Or
right?
Louis Armstrong.
Right.
No, that's more like this.
You have to swallow the other
Keep
voice.
him coming. Who else do you want me to do, you fuckers?
Okay, I also rewatched Wishmaster for the first time in a long time. As great as that movie is, and
no,
all the amazing cameo. What? No.
Why?
doesn't hold up for me.
What doesn't hold up is the CGI effects in it, like exploding glass and whatnot. Yeah, that doesn't hold up. The practicals are still kick butt, but and all the cool cameos and everything. But yeah, the CGI stuff. Nah. But I like the Jin. He's a cool character. He's a cool horror bad guy. I like him. Anyway, I also rewatched for the first time forever. I found it on Pluto, and I was so excited because I literally been trying to find this movie for like the past year to rewatch it.
Went all the
I
way to
haven't seen it.
Pluto.
Exactly. It's a movie from 1976 called Murder by Death. Now,
Peter
it's not a
Falk.
murder- Yes, cool. You know this movie.
I
I
actually
own
know
it.
this movie.
I've seen it. It's actually pretty good. It's kind of like a Clue is almost like an offshoot of this. I get the vibe from.
Like my second
Big
favorite
time.
band is named after this movie.
I know the band.
Oh, nice. Wow, more people are familiar with this than I thought. Yeah,
What
it's a
is meaning of this?
Oh,
Use your
don't
goddamn
start-
pronouns. Sorry.
which is hilarious, but oh my, rewatching it for the first time in this day and age. Yeah, Peter Sellers does not come off well in it. I still think it's funny, but very, very racist character. It's a comedy. Again, yeah, kind of in the vein of Clue. I feel a bit more on the satirical side. There's a lot of like funny, unnatural gags that go on in this movie. It's I think it's hilarious, but it is a bizarre movie. It's got an amazing cast: Peter Falk, Alec Guinness as a blind butler, named Benson Mum. There's Peter Sellers who plays a very racist portrayal of a
Inspector Chan, I think.
Asian man. Yep. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Clue, it's got Elaine Brennan in it. Yeah. James Coco, David Nevin, James Cromwell in a very young performance, and he's awesome in it as well. But the weirdest casting is Truman Capote.
Whoa.
Is in this movie. And I have a feeling it's more than just, stunt casting. I feel like the joke is the fact that we have this author playing this character in this movie where the theme of the movie is about this guy who's trying to outsmart all the world's greatest detectives. And all the world's greatest detectives are parodies of famous detectives in mystery novels throughout the years from all over the world. So you got like Peter Falk, who's very much like a James Cagney, Casablanca type guy. Peter Sellers is definitely Charlie Chan. And there's even a big speech that Truman Capote gives at the end about how this whole thing was payback for you guys is making millions of dollars with your cheap mystery novels and introducing characters at the last second and blah 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 blah. So, and it's written by, and this was the weirdest part for me, written by Neil Simon, like famous playwright. He wrote this like goofy comedy where you have a blind butler and you have Nancy Walker as this mute deaf aide. And just crazy things that go on that make no sense, and the mystery itself makes no sense. But it's a lot of fun. It's really funny. So if I would find it, and if you can get past the Peter Sellers, stuff and not take it too seriously, it's really funny. So definitely check out Murder by Death. The newest thing to me that I've watched that I saw for the first time is and I'm really pulling back the curtain on me here a little bit. I always talk about I don't really have guilty pleasures, but I think I finally figured out my guilty pleasures. And that is Happy Madison Productions.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the Happy Madison Productions that don't star Adam Sandler. And so this is one with Nick Swartzen as the star, Bucky Larson, Born to Be a Star.
Oh, man.
Oh boy.
I know, and I loved it.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, guys.
Can you
I
put
don't know
crickets
why.
into the post, like cricket sounds after he says that?
I'm admitting that I'm highly embarrassed that I like this movie, that I like all those movies, but damn it, because I know they're bad movies. They're horribly written. They're terribly
not
directed.
all of them, man. Grandma's Boy is awesome.
Grandma's Boy is awesome. It is awesome. Sorry, it's still horribly written.
Yeah.
They introduce the plot in the last 10 minutes of the movie in Grandma's Boy. But regardless, yeah, that movie's great. And I know Bucky Larson shouldn't be, but I still really liked it. The only thing that I took offense to is the fact that Bucky Larson, his character comes from Iowa, where everybody in Iowa apparently has Minnesotan accents.
Yeah.
So that's what I watched.
And his dad was the head vampire in Lost Boys. I've actually seen
Yeah, that was him. And I knew the mom from somewhere too, and I couldn't figure her out.
She's Cousin Eddie's wife from Vacation.
Vacation, dang it. Yes, thank you.
Good thing Andy is an expert on Bucky Larson. Jesus.
I just know character actors when I see them. I know where they've been, and
Andy feels so guilty about liking this one he won't even admit it.
I didn't. I've seen it, but I didn't really, like it. I just, I mean, it on paper, it looks pretty good. Not gonna lie. I mean, you've got Don Johnson, Winona Ryder,
Stephen Dorff.
Deacon Frost.
Yeah.
I mean, and even like, the premise of the movie sounds good, but the execution, not so much.
I'm joining I'm joining our Patreon just so we can watch Bucky Larson and do a commentary.
I'd be down.
It's basically after I watched it, I felt like, like somebody should have cued like the little soundbite of, when somebody fucks up the game on The Price is Right, yeah. That's what I felt like.
Who wins, Corky Romano, Bucky Larson, or It's Pat?
I'm a Corky Romano fan, dude. I actually like. I laughed my ass off.
Derailed.
When do you guys like some cookies? Yeah, that's good shit.
God.
All right, quick. Somebody ask me what I've watched.
I forgot what we were doing. It's like, what movie are we watching?
I've got a pretty decent list, but I'll get right through them. I watched Death Wish 5: The Face of Death and the Bruce Willis Eli Roth Death Wish for my podcast. I will not say what I thought of them, so you have to listen to my podcast in about a month when we drop those episode. I watched the new Seth Rogen movie American Pickle that's on HBO Max, and it's fucking hilarious. I love Seth Rogen. Unapologetically love that guy. If you're not familiar with the story, it's really fucking stupid. He plays an immigrant that moves to the United States. He has a dream of being able to afford seltzer water. He gets a job at a pickle factory as a rat killer. He is chasing a rat on some rafters and falls into a pickling vat, and they seal it for 100 years. He wakes up 100 years later, and he's in modern times, and his only living family member is his great-great-grandson, also played by Seth Rogen, and they're the same age. So he moves in with him in downtown New York City, and he's like a developer. He develops apps, and this old timey immigrant moves in with him, and a hilarity ensues as he tries.
Just look too stupid.
You had me at Rat Killer.
Has Charlie Day's job.
The trailer plays this off as like some heartfelt
Right?
like comedy that has like such deeper message and whatnot to it, when the premise is a guy who's been pickled for 100 years wakes up.
Well, they're not going to tell you up front. They want you to join HBO.
It's pretty funny, but it also does have some moments because this guy wakes up and there is a love story, and he wakes up and obviously his wife, when he got pickled, has died, and they don't know where he's at. So it's not like they pickled him on purpose. They have no idea. He goes missing, and so she probably moves on and stuff, but he wakes up in a whole different world. He has no idea how things work. He's extremely racist. He's sexist. And, it's very much blast from the past where, someone wakes up in Encino Man, where someone wakes up in a world that they're not used to, and their surroundings fuck with them. But Seth Rogen's pretty funny. He admitted that they made this movie, Sony made the movie, and after they finished it, they're like, look, we don't know how to market this, and we don't think it will do well in theaters. So it was actually sent to HBO, sold to HBO Max before the pandemic, and then the pandemic happened. So they sort of lucked out because they probably got a bigger deal out of it, I would say. Like if it was sold to them,
Their only option,
right? As if it was sold to them because of pandemic, they probably would have got less money out of it. So,
but you liked it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. But I'm a huge. There's people that just hate Seth Rogen. I really like him. And it's Brandon Trost. It's his first movie he's directed, and he's been their cinematographer for a bunch of their films. And he was a cinematographer on Rob Zombie's Halloween films. His brother is Jason Trost, who did the FP and has done a lot of great horror and indie movies. So it's cool to see him finally get his first directing role. And I really enjoyed it. I recommend it. If you like Seth Rogen, you'll like this. It's his normal bullshit, but it's fun.
Hey, when Brandy and I were watching Joe Bob, did you guys see that trailer for the Jay Baruchel? How you say his last name? Baruchel.
Boucherel?
Yeah, whatever, something like that. The movie that he directed, that's a Shudder exclusive.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, it does look cool. I'm kind of stoked, and
Random Acts of Violence. Is that what
Brandy
it's called?
does. Is that
I
what
think
it's called?
so.
Yeah. Brandy doesn't like that guy, but I think he's funny, so I'm wanting to check it out.
Yeah, I finally saw something that you guys are going to be like, holy shit, how did you never see this? But I saw Brian De Palma's Blowout for the first time.
Oh, sweet. What'd you think?
I loved it. It was on Prime. I think it was like 2 a.m, and I'm flipping through and I'm almost falling asleep, and I'm like, dude, like I don't think I've seen this, but I know about this movie. Like I know everything about it, but I've never seen it. So I started playing it, and it hooked me. Like I went from like falling asleep to like wide awake into this movie. It got me to put my phone and my computer down. I loved it, man.
Cool, good.
It's always cool when you watch something like this and you instantly see, like, you watch an old movie and you see all the bits that Tarantino stole for his movies.
Right.
They're right down to the just ripping the music straight out of this for Death Proof. But
in fairness, Brian De Palma ripped everything off of Hitchcock. So,
right.
That's goes around, comes around.
Baby Hitchcock.
Oh yeah, I watched some De Palma this weekend too. I watched Carrie, but I'd seen that 100 times. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it was just really cool to see Blowout. I just adored it, and I'm like now I'm on like a Brian De Palma kick, so I need to get to some of the other ones I haven't seen.
I still need to see that movie.
Dress to Kills is good.
Dress to Kill is good. But Blowout, man, that movie over the past few years has been quickly rising to the top as one of my favorite De Palmas.
Definitely.
Yeah, and like I said, it's on Prime right now, so.
And the thing is, you get to see John Lithgow's range, because I mean, the thing with him is just like he can make you laugh your ass off, and then he could literally make you, with one look, make you want to wet your freaking pants, dude. John Lithgow could be fucking terrifying.
Yeah, the story's cool as hell. I mean, who would have thought you could make, a movie about a sound guy for horror movies be so damn good? But it's really damn good.
Oh, that opening scene where it's just one long tracking shot of this horror movie scene, which
Where the
you know is
camera's
completely
following the
unreal.
sound.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's completely unrealistic because
Yeah.
what horror movie in the 80s was doing that cool of like long, drawn out, meticulous tracking shots other than Carrie?
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, Blowout, great. Recommend it. If you haven't seen it, hit me up so we can do a podcast about it. There was a land hurricane that went through Iowa, so luckily we in Burlington were not hit that hard. We lost the internet for 3 or 4 days or something, or maybe 2 or 3 days, but that forced me to dust off some physical media, and
Nice.
I dusted off Black Sabbath for the first time. Had never seen that.
Great band.
And great movie. It's an anthology with 3 short films within it. Mario Bava, it's really cool. Has Boris Karloff as the wraparound, the narrator, and he's the sort of lead in the middle story. I won't talk too much about it just because I feel like most horror fans have probably seen it, and I'm like the last one, and because
I've never seen it either.
I have a lot of stuff to cover here. So, first story is about a former prostitute that thinks she's getting stalked by her former pimp. The middle story is about Boris Karloff and a legend of a relative leaving and coming back and wanting the blood of their close family members. And the third story is about a dead woman and stealing her ring, and it's fucking creepy.
Oh yeah, with those wide eyes and that weird grin on her face.
Yeah, totally creepy.
Oh, that one's so so creepy.
Absolutely.
And that you'll never hear dripping water the same after that.
No, all 3 of them are really cool and completely different in tone, which I really appreciated. Like, it just was cool to see. I don't know, just love that time period, and everything about it was cool. I checked out Steve-O's new special, Gnarly. Not quite horror, but it felt very horrific because he staples his own nutsack to his stomach, and he eats some disgusting things on stage, and it's a mixture of stand-up comedy and like variety show. So and storytelling. He tells stories about his troubled past and about getting clean, but he also they show some videos, a lot of videos. He gets all the Jackass guys back together for the opening. It feels very amateurish in its production, to be honest. I love Steve-O and the Jackass guys. I will watch everything they put out, but it definitely has I think he filmed this thing hoping to sell it to Netflix or some other streaming service, and they were just like, we can't do it. It's too much, because it is too much. So he's making it available on his website, I think for like $5 or something. And it's worth one watch, but he tries a little too hard in it. And like I said, the production's a little amateurish at times. It's sort of corny, but there's definitely, I wish it was more just storytelling, because his storytelling's better than his actual attempts at stand-up. But if you're a fan of Steve-O, you should check out Gnarly. Of course, I watched the 2 Joe Bob specials. That was a lot of fun. I watched a new independent horror movie that just got put out called Uncle Peckerhead. Has anyone seen this yet?
I've heard about it, but I've been wanting to check it out.
Yeah.
It was one of those where I'm like, I probably hyped it up too much for myself, because a title like that it's hard to live up to a title like Uncle Peckerhead, and the poster's awesome and the trailer's awesome. It probably would have fared better as a short, to be honest. As far as I'm concerned, it felt like they had a lot of filler and nothing really was happening for the hour and a half to warrant a feature. It's clear that a bunch of people from like an improv group got together and they made a horror comedy. The premise is pretty simple. This down and out indie band, 2 girls and a guy, they do the typical garage rock thing. They're evicted from their apartment. Their van gets repoed right before they're set to go on tour and make their big break. So they go around putting signs on vans all around town that they need to borrow a van. And this guy named Peckerhead offers to drive them on tour if they give him gas money and pay him a few bucks and help him. He's homeless. He lives in his van. So, he's like, throw me a few bucks and I'll take you on tour. And they think, great. this isn't really a spoiler because it's right on the poster, but the first show they play, they get ripped off by the promoter, and Uncle Peckerhead goes back in to talk to the promoter. The lead singer of the band goes in to make sure he's okay and catches him eating the promoter. And he's like a demon. So the story is like, it's sort of like a werewolf type thing, but he's a demon. At midnight, he turns into this human eating demon. And so he has to take these shots to make him not do that. He's sort of like Hulk, a mixture of like Hulk and a werewolf, where if he gets really mad, he turns into Uncle Peckerhead, which is the demon version of him, and he eats and murders people in brutal fashion. And it's really brutal. They use great practical effects. When he's killing people, the movie's great, but there's a long time between the killings, and you just want to get to that. And like I said, they do a lot of filler. Like there's like 3 whole songs that the band performs in the movie without any kind of break, or there's no real reason to even be showing them. They just shows them playing at shows. It's like, why are we watching them play entire songs?
It's clearly cheating for time, right?
Right. And the music's good. It's if you like indie rock and stuff, it's cool. And all the performances are really funny and stuff. But there's some slow motion scenes that were clearly put in to fill in some time. It's like, it just felt like they really had to stretch this out to try to make a feature. Cause like I said, there's a lot of subplots that go absolutely nowhere. I mean, they're just, after they happen, it's like, okay, what was the entire point of that? But it's worth one watch at least. I think you guys would find it hilarious. Like the killing scenes are worth it. I mean, there's this very brutal scene where he kills some people and he rips a head off and the spine comes out with it. That's really hilarious. Yeah. And then the last thing I watched was I rewatched Tammy and the T-Rex for an upcoming podcast. So that's what I watched.
Well,
That'll be
very
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. So thank you, Tad, for what we watched. Now I'm going to turn it over to Jason to talk about pole position.
From now on, like your parents were, you are the secret force of pole position.
Okay, we're just doing this really fun thing over on Twitter, on our Twitter at AOTKP. And we just ask all 4 of us a question and we give our answers, and then you go vote and see who got it right. This episode's question is, what is your favorite horror puppet doll or toy? And St. Mike, you're first.
My favorite puppet master.
No.
What?
Your favorite puppet doll or toy from any horror movie. Did we get this wrong again too?
Yeah.
Oh, and you already said yours was.
You've been doing this for 8 years.
I know. It's a new
Not
segment.
this segment.
Right.
The Ashy Slashy puppet from Ash versus Evil Dead.
It's pretty good. Is there any reason you picked that one? You just
because it's awesome.
Such a
and
neat
it's
thing
Ash
for that
and-
series.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And it's hilarious.
I'm going to go next. I chose my favorite, because it's the scariest to me, I guess, but the clown doll from Poltergeist.
Sean Clark owns it, dude.
I know, and when he showed it's terrifying, but I know a lot of people have ruined childhoods because of that. Anyway, Tad, what's your pick?
Well, I never got confirmation that I could pick this one, so I want an official ruling from the rest of you. I was gonna say Nubbins from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. He's used as a puppet.
Will Mike allow it?
So you guys can vote on it, and if not, I have a backup.
I'll allow it. I mean, what's everyone else think?
I'm not going to hold any grudges if you guys vote against it.
Andy, what do you think?
Well, I mean, you can use a person as a puppet. I mean, we saw it done in Killer Clowns from Outer Space when the cop
Correct.
is being used as a literal, ventriloquist. So, I mean, I'm going to allow it. I think it works.
Okay. Well, then that's a pretty fun answer, Nubbins.
Yeah, Nubbins.
And then Andy, what about you?
I am going with Baby Oopsie Daisy from Demonic Toys because it's freaking hilarious.
What's
he saying?
You're gonna make me do it, ain't you?
Yes.
I'm Baby Oopsie Daisy. I can walk, I can talk, I can even shit my pants. Can you shit your pants?
And then for fun, Blake, we'll put you on the spot.
I just did.
If you got to pick, what would you pick? Who's your favorite?
I think just because I really want this as a puppet, and I don't know if they'll ever release it, is the Freddy puppet from Dream Warriors. I think that thing looks really cool, and it's creepy.
Yep, I have seen it out there. It's a toy.
Could have said Chucky and just quickly said something, but I just thought, man, I really like that puppet, and hope NECA was supposed to make it, but that fell through, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, back in the day, McFarlane's movie Maniacs, when they did the Freddy Krueger figure, they included one of those little.
Mm-hmm.
Right, NECA was supposed to make a full size one, like actual replica from the movie.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. They even allowed it to be like pre-ordered, like it was close.
Yeah, and it sat there for years, and they kept saying it's coming, it's coming. I think they were having issues with production, getting it affordable.
You make it out of clay, you can't make it out of wood, or you might slit your wrist.
I mean, if they can make like a Debbie Stevens, I mean, I think they should be able to like make like at least like 2 or 3 of the Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
Just like a Terran, a Wizard Master, and maybe like a Kincaid with like a bendable chair or whatever.
Yeah.
I was
all
almost,
right,
if you guys were going to vote against Nubbins, I was going to say Taki Tina from Twilight Zone.
Oh, nice. Well, yeah, that's pole position. Just head over to our Twitter page at AOTKP and get your votes in. It's out now.
Thank you, Jason. Now it is time for the moment you've all been waiting for. But first, Insane's Games. And it's time for Insane's Games. It's a new
Why
game.
can't this part be the part everyone's waiting for? That's what I want to know.
It's time for a new game, and to keep it in the theme of the episode, which I forgot because it's been a while. American Charles Bandstand.
Oh my goodness.
So these are all
Andy is doomed. Teeth feels.
Just the pun. It's just the name. It just wow. Continue, please.
So these are multiple choice questions, all having to do with Charles Band and Charles Band films. And each of you are going to get a chance to guess. And you get points for being right or whatever. Yay, points.
Low points.
All right. So, and I'll try to mix it up here. Okay. So first question. What were the first 4 films released by Full Moon? Is it A, Puppet Master, Puppet Master 2, Puppet Master 3, Doll Man, and Shadow Zone? Is it B, Puppet Master, Meridian, Shadow Zone, Crash and Burn? Is it C, Puppet Master, Doll Man, Pit and the Pendulum, Subspecies, Trancers? Or D, Puppet Master, Spellcaster, Trancers, Robot Jocks? Do I need to go over those again?
Please don't.
Please don't.
So we'll start with Tad. What is your guess?
C.
C. Jason.
Yeah, Tad was clearly right, and it's definitely C.
Andy.
I'll go C.
Okay, Blake.
I believe C. I know that. I think he did a movie called Parasite that was really early, so I don't know if that film was part of C's, but yeah.
Okay, so again, the answer. Well, you guys chose C to the question: what were the first 4 films released by Full Moon? And C is Puppet Master, Doll Man, Pit and the Pendulum, Subspecies, and Trancers. The correct answer is B, Puppet Master, Meridian, Shadow Zone, Crash and Burn. Now, the reason why I chose the first 4 films, because Puppet Master was made in 1989, and the other 3 were all made in 1990. So I kind of didn't have a choice but to do 4 films instead of just like, what was the first?
I thought Crash and Burn was the sequel to Robot Jocks, though.
Yes, it is, because Robot Jocks did come out before it, but that was an Empire Pictures production.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you
Oh,
Damn it.
yeah. God damn it.
All right. So, speaking of Empire Pictures, question number 2. How many films were made under Empire Pictures? Is it A, 41, B, 42, C, 43, or D, 44? Blake?
I'll just go with B.
B. All right. Andy?
44.
D. Okay. And Jason?
I've never been more sure about anything in my life, and I choose C, Bob.
Okay. And Tad?
$1. No, I'll do A just because.
Mix it up.
The correct answer is C, Jason.
Aha!
43.
Now the listeners at home are like, "What? Was he serious? Did he really know that?"
I'm tempted to get that box set of all those films that came out like a year or 2 ago. That looks intriguing. About every Empire film.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, that documentary or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Which one is a full moon production? A, Demonic Toys versus Sex Toys. B,
Jesus.
B, Evil Bong 8. C, The Incredible Genie. Or D, Lurking Terror. Jason?
That's absolutely D.
D, okay. Tad?
Give me that D, Mike.
D?
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Andy?
Really? Kids that listen to this.
We're gonna go with those triple D's.
All right. And Blake?
I'll say D. Yeah.
Man, I really screwed you guys on that one because it is not D, Lurking Terror. The actual name of the movie was Lurking Fear.
Oh, that's what it was.
The correct answer is The Incredible Genie.
Everybody just like to say D.
I think that's what
it.
happened.
Yeah. I really wish there was a Demonic Toys versus Sex Toys. That would be awesome.
Give them time. It's
Demonic sex
not
toys.
above them. Yes.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm pretty sure those are out there.
If he's listening to this episode, he's like, "Oh, that is the next movie." Okay, question number 4. Which actor has not been in a Charles Band produced film? A, Gary Busey. B, Helen Hunt. C, Klaus Kinski. D, Demi Moore. Or E, Tony Todd. Let's see who has not gone first. Andy?
I'm gonna go with okay. I'm gonna go with Demi Moore.
Okay. Jason?
Oh man, it's definitely Demi Moore.
Okay. Tad?
Tony Todd.
Okay. And Blake?
I'll just say Helen Hunt. Why not? She needs some love.
Tad got it correct. It is E. Tony Todd has not been in a Charles Band produced film. Of course, Gary Busey was the Ginger Dead Man.
Mm-hmm.
Helen Hunt was in Trancers 1 and 2.
I knew that.
Klaus Kinski was in Klaus Kinski. Jesus was in Crawl Space.
Yep.
And Demi Moore was in Parasite.
Oh,
First
She
film.
was.
Last question.
You idiots.
Number 5.
Yep.
Which film did Charles Band direct? Is it A, Bad Channels, B, Puppet Master, C, The Creeps, or D, Killer Eye? Blake, why don't you go first?
I think I'll just say B.
B, okay. Andy?
which one was Killer Eye?
Okay. That'd be D. Jason?
Hey, Bad Channels.
And Tad.
I don't think anyone got C, so I'm going with C.
C, that is The Creeps. And Tad is correct. It is The Creeps.
Damn it.
Ooh.
So with a score of 2, Tad is the winner.
Boo.
Jason, runner up with 1.
Yay.
So now you know all there is to know about Charles Band. So
More than I ever wanted to.
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
enough.
Maybe.
Okay, so it is time. It is time for the movie.
I probably know more about the Charlie Daniels Band than fucking Charles Band at this point.
All right, so that was fun. Now it's time for the movie. That's right. We're doing a commentary track right here, right now for the original Puppet Master film. Again, special thanks to our Patreon supporter,
Andrew Moller.
Andrew Moller.
Attacker Andrew.
Attacker Andrew Moller for suggesting Puppet Master. If you're going to watch at home, we have it queued up on black right before it says Full Moon Productions. And it shows you it's like 2 or 3 seconds right before that fades in. So you can all start your movie on countdown from 3. So that's 3, 2, 1, play. Hey, right there, Full Moon Productions.
It's just like you
presents.
said it would be. Hey, we met that dude.
That's right, we did.
We
David
did a
Schmoller.
We did a
Mhm.
director's panel.
David Schwimmer?
No. No.
Oh.
Pivot.
Maybe it's his like uncle.
Pivot.
That's not how last names work, Blake.
Well, I don't know what he's doing. Damn it.
It's close,
talk
so
about-
they must be related.
Oh.
What's with us?
Blake bashing has begun. It's been like
I'm beginning to think like every single like full moon feature starts out with this very similar music, you know, just the very orchestral, like, you know.
I think Charles Band's brother might have done this piece of music, if I'm not mistaken.
He did a lot for
Yeah.
for Charles Band Productions. So I
Ricky
can't remember.
Skaggs, the country star.
Ricky Skaggs did most of the music. Yep.
Yes. There's going to be a banjo coming in soon.
Oh. Yeah,
Good old
yeah.
Babs.
Forgot she was even in this.
Not for long. And William Hickey. Woo!
His friends call him Bill Hickey.
As long as it
Good old Viv.
Oh, that's not where I want to be.
So
What kind of doll are they making? Good God.
I'll say Blake inform us because he probably owns 3 of them.
I own them all. It's and I'm proud of that, by the way. It only took like
Jester?
3 years. Yep, Jester.
oh yep, Richard Mann did the music. Yep. So Andy, is this your first watch then?
Yes, it is, actually.
Wow.
Probably your last, too.
Hey.
I never purposely avoided them. I knew that they had an audience. So
I would, if you're not a big fan of this, and I'm really still not a big fan of this movie versus like the second one. I think the second one has a lot more to it, and the stop motion's a lot cooler. But the second, the third, fourth, and fifth are actually pretty decent. They're fun. So
Yeah,
if
it
you
is
feel like you want to
interesting.
venture forth,
It's the only franchise I can think of that got better as the sequels went on.
definitely. And then after 5, it's just like, oh crap, we ran out of money. Like, what
Yeah,
happened?
and then it's all just recycled footage of the
Yeah.
of the stop motion dolls in the future sequels.
Throw some stock
Well,
footage with a miniature
what I've
hotel on it.
what I've seen already is like Citizen Kane compared to Clowntergeist. So I can sit through this. So
We almost
this was
made it through an
originally-
episode without you mentioning it.
It was originally supposed to
I'm
be in
still pissed
theaters.
off.
Like,
This is supposed to be in theaters, you said?
they originally were going to do it in theaters, and then Charles Band thought he could make more money on video on demand and stuff like that, or direct to video, doing rentals and stuff like that, which he probably did versus trying to sell it theatrically with all the promotional stuff.
Well, that's surprising that this didn't even have any kind of theatrical because everybody
like it
sort of
would've,
knows
though.
Puppet Master.
Yeah,
It's not quite Chucky, but it's not, underground.
This is also during the time of like when Empire Pictures went out. This was the first full moon production, as you know, we learned from the trivia. So, and Empire Pictures went bankrupt, and then he just started up a whole new production company. Now, a lot of the Empire Pictures played theatrically, stuff like Reanimator and Dolls and stuff like that. But when Full Moon came around, it felt like it was his own entity of direct-to-video. And like, you can say what you want about Charles Band, but he had some like really innovating stuff, even with Full Moon. Even though the films kind of seemed to lack production value, it was a lot more about quantity over quality. But he's kind of started the thing of bonus features. Like they always had the Video Zone magazines feature at the end of every single tape, and I would rent every Full Moon movie, whether it was crap or not, just so I can watch the Video Zone.
Yeah, Video Zone was pretty cool. There's a little fact of Guy Rolfe, who played, actually, I think the same name as Andre Toulon in the movie Dolls. He takes the acting position instead of William in the part 3 of this. But they just kind of used the same character and moved him over. And I didn't know that until I watched Dolls. I was like, that's really cool. They just went from Dolls to this. So it worked out really well. The actor's great. If you guys ever get to part 3.
Yeah, it's like I said at the top of the show, I've been really wanting to revisit this whole franchise. So I'm definitely going to want to watch 2 and 3 because, yeah, that was completely in my mind all these years after watching them originally. It's like the movies got better. That's so weird. The movies got better as the sequels went on, up until a point, anyway.
Like the Purge.
I still really like the first.
There he goes.
Is this Blake in 2 years, or is it Trump 10 years ago?
Well, he's not really even painting that puppet.
Right.
You know
he's just rubbing it with a brush. It's creepy.
He's like, massaging it.
He's tickling it.
When you're on your deathbed, I'm going to put you into a puppet, and you'll see how fun it is. I'll be like, go get me a sandwich. You'll be like, I hate you.
Left, right, left.
Oh, those Nazis.
Yeah, how big was the Nazi exploitation scene? Because that's one of the rough parts about all of these movies, really, is that part of it.
That they celebrate Nazi culture?
Well, it's just a big part of it.
Well, that's what I'm not understanding nowadays. Yeah, it's like movies like this, or even like comic books, especially, is always use Nazis as a villain. So why would you want to change that? I was watching a YouTube video talking about it was like a top 10 weirdest super villains or whatever, and they had a Nazi themed supervillain on this list, and every time they'd show him, they'd blur out the Nazi symbol, and I'm like, really?
On a villain?
Yeah, it's a villain, Huh. And it's like, are we supposed to forget that Nazis were evil? I don't understand why now we're wanting to erase this
How
from
sensitive we are now.
our pop culture.
Go put on your MAGA hat and record a video in your truck, Mike.
Well, I mean, if you trace the history back to the swastika, I mean, it was meant for something. It was meant as a good sign. It's just, it was polluted by a bunch of racist assholes.
Watch out for those Egyptian scrolls. They're valuable.
Looking at some real old porn.
Yeah.
Back from when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Is he a puppet? Is he a toy that you got, Blake? Oh.
No. I have...
I thought you were a fan, dude.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, it depends on if you can find someone to make it. Like a lot of them, I've got Jester that looks exactly the same as that. But I had somebody custom make mine, so they sewed them, they put the bodies together, I mean, it was extensive and it was years' work.
Wow.
So, yeah. So if you guys ever want to see some photos, they're pretty impressive.
So
I'm actually proud to show them off, unlike some of the other stuff I own.
what?
I-
So what?
I
What
would be
came?
pretty proud to show off that hieroglyphic porn that guy
Yeah.
had.
But what came first for you? Was it the love of these movies, the toys, and then
I think-
toys brought you to the movies?
Loneliness.
I was, it was
I'll
loneliness,
start there,
yes,
yeah.
and I wanted them to watch me. You know, I thought that was pretty sexy.
Okay,
But, no, I
Sounds-
think that usually Jester's head turns away because he's ashamed.
Just
But,
the middle part.
just the middle part. I actually, when I was, actually, this is a really cool story.
That's
I had
actually pretty
actually
funny.
went to the movie rental store, and I was at Circus Video actually, and I wanted to rent Puppet Master, and so me and my mom got it, and we got home, and we started playing it, and I'm like, "There's no puppets in this fucking movie," and it was the Puppet Masters with Donald Sutherland. So I sat, but you know, at the end of the day, my mom was like, "This movie is pretty good." And I was like, "You know what? It's not too bad, but I really would like to see the right movie." So, like, I just thought about that story, and yeah,
Housekeeping?
so that's kind of how I.
Housekeeping?
But yeah, that's kind of how I got into it, and I always thought it would be amazing to get these puppets. And Full Moon had released what they want to call replicas, and they were the shittiest China-made things you've ever seen.
Oh,
And it not to knock China, but they used to do production in the U.S. and then they just were like, hey, it's cheaper just to throw some stuff together and people will buy it. And they look terrible if you ever look them up on eBay. But yeah, Full Moon also had a huge line of figurines too that they made for these movies that actually look pretty cool for action figures. They were in a lot of stores back in the day. So, and I have that trunk too that I bought, and I still need to redo it for the puppets. So that was a nice $50 local fine.
aw.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't actually bring it inside the house. There's no room. So
So you drive around with it in your car full of puppets to
I
impress.
do, and that's
Yes.
how I impress everybody.
Around
Yes,
local
I'm like,
schools, too. You know?
Like, get in my truck. And they're just like, what? I'm not allowed in like a, I don't know, huge radius of a school now.
Is this guy hiding a puppet in the back of his shirt, or is that just a spine?
He's just happy to see you.
He got shaped like one of the little hills in Nightmare Before Christmas.
He looks like the old man from Up.
It's funny you say
Oh.
Nightmare Before Christmas because he did a voice.
Because he was Dr. Finkelstein in it. Yep, that's
Aw.
right.
Has
Like
William
the
Hickey
Finkelstein
always been
shit
old?
kid?
Yeah, I don't think he was ever young.
He was always that age. Like,
He was born like this.
Like I'm
Someone
flipping through.
put jam all over this painting.
I'm flipping through his filmography right now, and I can't. Everything I recognize him from, he's like, yeah, that's what he looked like then too.
William Hickey?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I always remember him from Tales from the Dark Side when that cat crawled down
yeah.
the hill.
How about that?
He was young when he helped build the pyramids.
That's where he got that.
There's no pictures, no proof.
you will also remember him from
Yeah, he was-
National Lampoon's Christmas
He
Vacation.
likes his role so much he's sleeping. Like, like, hey, dude, action.
I said action.
This is one of the most glorious mullets I've ever seen.
This is me whenever someone puts a Lord of the Rings movie on.
Hey, come
whoa.
on.
You put a gun to a girl's head.
Cool. Like,
Oh, actually, I blow my brains out like that guy earlier.
Oh,
He's got like a certain kind of mullet. He's kind of like got the Swayze Roadhouse mullet going on, you know.
diarrhea. It's a Pepto.
Pretty sweaty.
Huh?
It's
Lions.
dull.
Oh, my shirt's clean. Thank God.
Oh,
Did I just shit myself? Yep. Pretty much.
it smells so good though.
I should get up, but I can't.
I should get up and go to this carnival with my pants filled with poop. Ride the tilt-a-whirl and shit my pants again.
Why are like half the lights out on all these rides?
Charles Band couldn't afford the electricity.
Right. Turn half off.
Is that who I think it is?
You
Could
know it.
it be?
Yeah, look at those poofy bangs.
I see a
She's
ball,
some-
dipshit.
Reverse the angle, reverse the angle.
Mike's premature. That's a surprise.
Ah, Barbara Crampton.
Wow, she is looking good.
But here's ever
She still is gorgeous.
Well, that's
yes.
the cool thing.
Yeah,
She was in the new Puppet
she's
Masters
aged
movie,
well.
so that was really cool.
Yeah, it was cool to see her in the new one. Plus that mullet. Is that you? Are you
Yep.
doing that?
Mhm.
Oh, of course. I mean, yeah, he doesn't have a line. He just. I have fake gum.
How come Barbara Crampton? Every movie Barbara Crampton's in, she's got a guy in the movie that is constantly chewing bubblegum. I think it's the same guy.
That
from
chopping mall, that motherfucker.
Andy and his PTSD.
It's just there's certain shit that just drives me up the wall. Like everything.
Yeah. So. Have any of you guys ever done a palm reading thing before?
Never mind my palm. Try to read my mind, which shouldn't be too hard if I went to one of these dumbasses.
I go to a reader. I want to go to the girl that was in Mallrats.
Yeah, there you go.
the extra nipple.
Do you do this at every time you watch a Lord of the Rings movie too, Tad? No, kill me.
Freedom!
Weren't we just in like Budapest or something? Remember we're
Yeah.
in New York?
Like he just threw some shots together in a film and hoped people that didn't notice.
Do the taxi theme. Is Latka in this movie?
This is like the most expensive shot in this movie.
You're probably right.
Restricting his mullet. Did you see that little nub on the back? You gotta let that party fly, son.
And everybody has headaches in this movie.
And fucking glasses she's wearing. Probably
He
put in a
looks
lot
just
of
like
strain.
Buddy Holly.
Nice, a Weezer reference.
Is this the same institute where Nancy did her sleep study? You know, because they don't know what the fuck dreams are.
I don't see Roger
Hypnosil?
Rabbit anywhere.
Someone's going to sink his battleship.
She's running down the beach.
Charles Fletcher did the voice of Roger Rabbit. He was the doctor in that scene in Nightmare on Elm Street.
What video game is that?
Advanced Pong.
What? Gallagher?
Gallagher?
Like the guy with the sledge-o-matic?
Oh, this movie just got interesting. Is it him or his twin brother?
That's the plot of the movie.
Figure out if it's the real Gallagher or not.
You look like a librarian.
I'm Dalton.
Oh, no, man.
He owes me $50. Son of a
He's
bitch.
not Neil. He's lying down.
Because he didn't want to live. That might be, I don't know. If you can't stay, we'll just bury him next week. We'll let him rot in the fucking casket.
Happen to have any watermelon?
Gallagher reference. I like it.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's if they say her name over and over again in this movie, it's going to happen every time.
He didn't really want to shoot himself. He actually wanted to go out the Gallagher way. He wanted somebody to hit him in the head with a big fucking sledgehammer.
Don't touch the body.
He's got the whole Steven Seagal ponytail thing going on that's kind of creepy.
At least Seagal had hair on the top.
That's true. Seagal had like hair, when it was proceeding.
Right.
I'm going to jam this needle into his pecker.
Well, that would do it. Or kill him immediately.
Or at least he'd want to be dead.
Looks like he's about a quart low.
Yeah, this is never a good sign. Creepy old elevators. Always make me think of that droopy dog going down, sir.
So the director, David Schmoller, he also directed a movie called Crawl Space, which has Klaus Kinski in it.
Still
Can I say it? He did this like short film, which is just basically a talking head piece about his experiences working with Klaus on Crawl
Oh,
Space.
God.
And it's freaking hilarious because Klaus is insane and he was an asshole. And that was like a film that was at Trauma Dance several years ago. So it's on one of their Best of Trauma Dance DVDs. But it, according to IMDb, it says that the puppet of Blade is based on Klaus Kinski, actually.
Are they token up? If she likes forcing her to like inhale.
Well, at least they got Klaus Kinski to come back in the third movie. Not come back, but he was in the third movie.
For Puppet Master?
Yep.
Oh, cool. What the hell?
At least that dog's affordable.
Very docile, I noticed. He's gonna drink all that liquor, thin his blood, and then put the leeches back on him.
Oh, he passes the drug test at work and stuff. You had any alcohol this week? No. What is it? What is that on your shirt? Oh, it's a leech? I think we're good.
Oh, the texture. Oh, yes. Picture. I'm so lonely. Don't step on my fucking feet.
Anybody have a favorite full moon production?
I don't think anyone's ever answered that question before.
Was Robot Jocks a full moon?
It was Empire Pictures.
It was okay.
Yeah.
They lost all their money before they got to Full Moon.
Pit and the Pendulum and Castle Freak were both full moon, though.
Castle Freak's pretty cool.
So both of those are Stuart Gordon.
Castle Freak is pretty high on my list. I enjoyed that.
I'll check out here. Check out the reaction on this guy's face.
Boobs.
So yeah. Anything Stuart Gordon has ever done with Charles Band obviously is awesome. But I've always had a thing for the movie Bad Channels. It's not good, but I think it's a lot of fun. And talk about scenes where they do full on songs. Bad Channels is about this radio DJ, this kind of shock jock radio DJ doing this big promotion, and then like aliens come and take over the radio station and force him to stay on the air because they use this device to capture women through the radio frequencies and miniaturize them and put them in bottles. And so, and like it hypnotizes the girls when the songs play. So and it causes like these weird delusions, like they're in the music video of the song. So there's like 3 full-on songs by 3 different bands in this movie. One of them is a band called Psychotic Symphony that is spelled all kinds of weird. And it's an awesome song. It's very, very reminiscent of things like, to me, like Tub Ring or Mr. Bungle or Mindless Self-Indulgence, where it's just chaotic music all over the place kind of stuff. and all the band members dressed in costumes, like the lead singer's in this cow outfit. The lead guitar player's dressed as a nun. So I've always wanted to find more of that band, and it's so music related that Blue Oyster Cult, of all things, do the score, the whole score for the movie, and I have that score on CD. It's also been re-released on vinyl, which I want to get too.
I'm curious as to why the Lord's Supper is like inside the casket. I mean, I know it's like a Christianity thing, but why the supper? I'm lost on that. I mean, he's dead; he can't fucking eat.
Maybe there was a hole in the casket and they needed to put something in there and found a photo on a wall.
That would suck to have to stare at that for all of eternity. I wonder if you can change the channel.
Is that the puppet butt plug that just crawled out?
It's Pinhead.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Our friend Dustin has a full official Pinhead costume too. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, if we had, of the 17 opportunities to get the question, what's your favorite Puppet Master puppet that we didn't get, Mike, I'm sorry, but
I'm going to answer that during shout out since I've prepared for it.
Mine would have been Pinhead, I think. And yeah, Dustin's costume is amazing.
It's got raised shoulders, so his actual head is in the neck of the costume, and then it's got like a small miniature Pinhead head on the top of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I sent a picture of it to you, Blake, on Messenger. You should check your phone real quick.
Anybody else have any favorite full moon movies?
Oh, I don't have the list in front of me. Do I have any?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking you if I have any.
Oh, I don't know, man. When I was looking at the list earlier today, man, I kind of forgot how rough the full moon catalog was.
Well, I put them in the same boat as a lot of trauma things. As far as like, I appreciate the spirit a lot. I mean, what they do and represent and all that, I love, But I feel I like Trauma's movies more. I have way of a harder time with full moon stuff.
Here's my theory on it, right? Because Trauma, they make maybe like a movie, as far as in-house production, they make a movie like every 5 years or something, right? They don't churn them out one after another like Full Moon is. So Full Moon, again, like I said before, it's all about quantity over quality. It kind of reminds me of like even way back in the day, the drive-in days, where some of these people, like a Herschel Gordon Lewis, for example, would get financing to make a movie, and all that mattered was filling up the number of reels. Just having enough footage to be able to market the film for drive-ins, and it would have to be a maximum of a certain amount of running time. And as Full Moon definitely went on, and as the production he wanted to build this like empire, but he wanted to do it overnight. Because again, I'm looking, okay, I got the list up now. 1990, there was 4 movies made. 91, there was 4 movies made. 92 had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movies made. And just, there isn't a year between 1990 and Jesus, when does it end? I don't know if it ever ends. God damn.
Yeah, no, and that's
2004. There was only 2 movies made. That is the most unproductive year of Full Moon's history up to this point. So where Trauma, I think, gets credit for really putting all effort into one production, even though it's movies made by a madman. Like Full Moon is all about just building a catalog.
Yeah, I see that.
And not to take anything away from the fun of a lot of these movies, though. Dr. Mordred is also a good one. I see that on the list. Jeffrey Combs was Doctor Strange before there ever was a Doctor Strange movie.
Oh, I get that there's a love and an audience for these films. I don't know. They don't
What
land for
about Killjoy?
me. No, I haven't
See,
seen that.
and that's some of the later stuff. I have still never seen a Killjoy movie. I think I
I've
gave
seen
up.
one.
Oh, and is it any good?
It's okay. I mean, like there was a different guy, and then Trent Haga took over the role for like
Yeah.
the second, third, and fourth, or something like that. And I haven't seen any of those, but I probably just need to sit back and watch them again.
Because I think I finally burnt out on Full Moon about, again, looking at the list here, I'd say probably around 97, 98. Even though there's still a few on here that I know I have seen. And just, man, and then seeing some of these titles, it's a production value going downhill continuously throughout the years. Movies say like Dollman versus Demonic Toys, which I appreciate for the fact of like, I mean, not since the Universal Monster films has there been a studio that is built a connected universe. I mean, everybody goes on today about, you know, how pioneering Marvel movies are because of that, but freaking Full Moon did it way before that. You know, because you got Dollman versus Demonic Toys, which that movie also references Bad Channels. What's that?
I saw cigarette burns. All sorry.
Oh, no problem. But what sucks about that movie, it's like less than 70 minutes long, and half of the movie is footage from the first Dollman movie and the first Demonic Toys movie. Like the first half of the movie is all just setup of what happened in those movies to set up the confrontation between Dollman and the Demonic Toys. And so it's just recycling footage. So, and yet you still can't get an hour and a half out of the movie.
Puppet gonna play the piano?
Yes.
The Liberace puppet?
I wish.
Actually, Jerry Lee Lewis might be a little scarier.
Just to underage girls.
Oh. Wow. I miss when you used to put ribbons in your hair, Mike.
Tried looking up this actress before too, because she obviously has to have done cartoon voices. Am I right? Of course, I say that now. She's not going to talk, so you guys see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Say something.
Yep.
Just having second thoughts about playing the piano. Should I play it? I don't know.
I only know chopsticks.
Yep, still a piano.
Yep. 88 keys. Everything's fine.
We're good here. Pinhead.
Just skewer her. This
Riveting.
okay. Yeah. You went and put the fire poker inside the piano again.
Oh.
Look out, you're going to get lightly tapped.
And kind of was. Well,
no scream, no nothing. Oh, wait. I guess there was a scream because they're all reacting. So Full Moon Pictures, over time, he was so prolific that he created like sub-companies within Full Moon. There was Moonbeam Entertainment, which was his kind of children's division with movies like Prehysteria, Remote, Pet Shop, Prehysteria 2, Prehysteria 3. Then there was Torchlight Entertainment, which I'm not sure the theme of that production studio, but based on the titles, I'm going to assume it's more of the more adult-oriented content with titles like Beach Babes from Beyond, Test Tube Teens from the year 2000, Beach Babes 2, Cave Girl Island, Blonde Heaven. So, yeah. And then there's Monster Island Entertainment, which I think was their attempt at doing like kaiju-style films with movies like Zar Kor, The Invader, and Kra, the Sea Monster. Those are the only two movies from that production studio. Then there was Film Monsters, which I'm assuming was his attempt at doing stuff based more on classic monsters, because the titles are Frankenstein Reborn and The Werewolf Reborn. Then there's Alchemy Entertainment, Big City Pictures, which I have a feeling was their attempt at doing an urban line with movies like Ragdoll, The Horrible Dr. Bones, The Vault, and Crips with a Z.
That's how you know it's cool.
Yeah. And then lastly, Edge Entertainment, which I have no idea the gimmick behind that one, but the movies in that were Freeway 2, Confessions of a Trick Baby, Dying to Get Rich.
I've seen that.
What's that?
I've seen that. Freeway 2?
Yeah, any good?
Natasha Lyonne supposedly barfs in this chick's vagina when she's going down on her. Real riveting stuff.
That sounds sexy.
So, yeah, there you go. There's all the companies within the company.
It's a lot of companies. Does that mean we don't have enough companies in our...
I think we need more. Can we start a children's line?
That's kind of off our brand quite a bit.
And it wasn't off Full Moon's brand?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Would Joe Bob consider this one naked breast?
I think he would.
She really need to have that tiara on in the bathtub?
I was thinking. Still dead.
Wonder if they have farts after they die. Just like a bunch of random farts.
I don't know. Maybe the embalming fluid might,
I think they
trigger
put
the
a
old.
cork in it.
Oh,
They probably sew your asshole closed.
That's where Pinhead was. He was plugging up his butt.
I mean, I for one can probably vouch that my wife would like that to happen to me while I'm alive.
Oh, I believe that.
Jason and I got to see a very watered down version of Charles Band's Roadshow too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate.
Very scaled back.
Yeah,
but
it's too bad. But even it was, you could get the idea, and it was awesome.
yeah.
I really liked it.
That was also around the time he was pimping his new streaming channel too.
Yep. Got you signed up for a minute.
That I was a sucker to sign up for a minute.
Hey, there's stuff.
I mostly signed up for, no, it had a lot of good stuff on it.
The
it
whatever
just-
heads.
What?
The whatever heads.
Oh, trophy heads.
Trophy heads.
Yeah,
That's what got you.
No, what got me was getting free 3 Blu-rays by signing up.
Yep.
And I got Castle Freak.
Nice.
And I think Trophy Heads was another one. I forgot what the third one was.
I would have a hard time choosing 3 movies I'd want to own.
But the thing is like with Charles Band, his catalog extends well beyond just this full moon nonsense. Kind of looking, he's been making and producing films since like his first film with his first production company, Charles Band Productions, was made in 1973. But he was behind movies like Laser Blast, if you've ever seen that, Tourist Trap. We mentioned Parasite before. Where's the stuff from Empire was the best though. Again, like Reanimator. Let me find their filmography. Ghoulies, Reanimator. Crawl Space, like I mentioned before. Crawl Space is really, really good. From Beyond, Rawhead Rex, the original Troll, TerraVision, which I freaking love.
TerraVision is amazing.
Creepazoids, Dolls, Ghoulies 2, of course. Prison, if you've ever seen that one. That's an early performance.
John Carl Buechler.
Yeah, John Carl Buechler directed with an early performance of Kane Hodder. I think that was the movie that kind of helped him get the Jason role, honestly. Cellar Dweller, Sorority Babes with Slime Bubble-orama. Yes, I got to say it again. Assault of the Killer Bimbos.
I've got
Intruder. Now Intruder, and I've said it before, I feel like we wouldn't have had probably wouldn't have Quentin Tarantino if we didn't have Intruder. So yeah, Robot Jocks. So his prime for making movies was during the Empire Picture days for sure.
Are there any puppets in this movie?
There's 5 minutes of puppet time apparently in the film.
Oh
Wow.
Yeah, they gypped everybody.
The movie's called Puppet Master, not hey, there's a bunch of puppets.
Not hey, the puppets.
Yeah. Anybody ever seen the puppet porn movie Make My Puppets Come?
Nope.
No,
It's a real thing. It's awesome. Check it out.
I'll take your word for it.
Maybe it's Let My Puppets Come. I can't remember if it's Make or
They're
Let.
out of content already. He's right to the porn. You made it halfway through. That's good. That's pretty good for you.
My favorite scene is the dog puppet with the woman. That's a good scene.
Okay.
It's really funny.
Did you guys,
Red Rocket.
when you guys were talking about full moon features, did you ever watch any of their Grindhouse series DVDs that they re-released?
Which ones were those?
Well, the one that comes to mind that right now is Auditions, and it's just like a bunch of auditions. I mean, it was kind of like it was auditions, but they were like fake auditions, and it was compiled to make like a film. And Linnea Quigley does an audition, and it was made in I think 1978. And basically, Linnea Quigley plays a shy 15-year-old girl, 15, says she's 15, who strips naked and dances, but she was 18 at the time of filming.
Well, that's good. That she was.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I can't imagine what goes on in that movie.
So is that some Linnea you haven't seen, Mike?
That is a Linnea I haven't seen. I'm
Add
going
it
to have
to
to
the
find
list.
that. That's right.
Yeah.
Audition.
Auditions from 1978. It's a full moon Grindhouse series. I mean, if you buy the tape, you're going to be paying out the ass for it. But DVD, pretty easy to get. I know this because I actually own it.
Oh man, awesome.
Let's go over to Andy's and watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to Iowa plenty of times. You guys can come to Nebraska.
We need to,
We
seriously.
do, for real.
Go to the Monster Club like you always wanted to.
Yes, I totally need to go over there. Gosh, there was some friends of mine on Facebook posting a bunch of pictures on it about it a few weeks back. And it looks freaking awesome.
Oh, getting their freak on.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, all out of focus and yeah,
It's for the best.
really boring. I can't reach the knocker. What knockers?
Those aren't knockers. Wait. Pillows. That's where I leave my extra chair. Out in the hallway.
There's
He
5
knows what you did
puppeteers
last
that
summer.
usually moved blade.
Fucking up the upholstery.
He's
His
so
legs are-
cute.
Yeah,
Can you be scared of this little fella?
little shit.
Blade.
He just wants a cigarette.
He
Yeah.
fights vampires.
No, wrong.
Wrong
one.
blade?
Yeah, wrong one.
Okay.
He's very out of breath. He gets winded pretty easy. Or that chair's just really goddamn heavy.
Said please.
A peeping Tom too.
Oh.
It's like a 4-way.
Tunneler? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Is he going to be a Drildo or something like that? Going to get
Oh,
on this action?
That would have definitely made it an X rating immediately. But you know, this movie would definitely be remembered for that.
He doesn't know how to wear his mask.
yeah, he's doing it wrong.
Isn't she supposed to like see the future and stuff? Like I'm just kind of confused on what her powers are besides being in a bed where somebody had sexual encounters and feeling that feeling. But no, she can, duck underneath the bed and not realize something bad's going to happen.
Maybe she just lost a contact or something.
She's probably looking for her acting career.
Oh.
Oh. Is it safe?
Show it. Oh, he's in trouble. Ponytail doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah, bald and sweaty. There's nothing more attractive.
Mm-hmm.
There she is.
I'm still looking for a leech to go with my leech woman. I need to actually make one. She loves those nipples.
Yeah. You gonna nurse. Stop it. Yeah. Stop it. You're making me lactate. Wow.
She's pretty hot for a puppet, though, right?
She is. I just feel like
I knew you.
the fact that it's sad how quickly I agreed to that too. But I feel it's weird that like with her, she has to like have one person die in the room. The other person has to be tied up for her to actually do any damage whatsoever to anybody. She
Yeah, I always
has to have like two other puppets to help her.
Yeah. And how fast is a leech gonna do anything? I don't know.
Well, in like a week or two, he might
Run out of
feel lightheaded.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that leech will fucking explode. It'll just drink twice its weight.
Apparently it's painful. Well, yeah, that would be pretty scary. What?
You don't like my kisses? He needs to get a weighted blanket. Good Lord, tossing and turning. Mm-mm.
Barf.
How like tied is he down that he cannot get out of there? Like those aren't handcuffs.
He's talking to that dead dog.
Puppers.
Watching you get sauced and talk to an inanimate object.
If I drink enough, the dog becomes real.
Yeah. I've only had one drink, but the dog had a lot.
He had something stiff.
Oh.
Got something stiff for you.
Look what happened to the dog. I'm going in there with you.
See ya.
Takes her finger off. Fuck you.
Hopefully that dog doesn't get into any trioxin.
Oh shit.
There you go.
Crossover.
How's that peripheral vision working for you there, honey?
He looks like one of those robots from Halloween 3.
Yeah,
he
he's gonna
does.
pull her head off.
That's not Gallagher.
It's
Is he
probably
the
a
guy
puppet
that's supposed to be in the casket?
Yeah. He got tired of laying down.
I guess so. She gonna pick him up and carry him around the hotel and get fucking wasted too?
Maybe.
She has to do a sexy dance first.
What?
That's what happens when you smoke too much. You just breathe
Good
smoke.
shit. Seeing dead people.
Whoa, I have that suitcase.
Wonder if this is where the other alcohol is.
Pervert puppet was looking up her dress.
He just wants a little head.
Yeah, he does.
Ah!
Dad's been waiting
Oh.
all movie.
And you have the nerve to say I have bad puns.
That
That's a good one.
was a good one. Damn it.
Pinhead's gonna choke a bitch.
He's a licensed massage
He's got
therapist.
those hobo gloves too.
I love
Drunken
how
hobo strength.
the most animated part of Pinhead character puppet is the real hands that they
Yeah, the dwarf.
somebody's from behind is doing. Yeah, it's like a female dwarf, I guess.
Oh yeah, he really did a number on her leg, didn't he?
That is one of my favorite parts about Pinhead and this movie and his character in general. It's always creepy.
With the real hands.
Oh yeah, I love the real hand stuff.
I'm trying to remember what Muppet is it. Oh, the Swedish Chef's got real hands too, which I always thought was kind of creepy as well. I mean, I know it's no Ray Harryhausen, but the stop motion isn't bad in this movie. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
I think he's going to do shadow puppets for her.
He makes a rabbit.
He's got man hands.
I'm going to start walking like that with my fists out in front of me, swinging in the air.
Put him up. Put him up.
And that's the one thing about these films that I don't really see too often with like bad guys is when they actually turn good. Like the puppets become good, and it's you kind of root for the puppets. So
Yeah. Because most of the humans in this movie are freaking pieces of crap. So,
but they tried to really like make them. And the third one, they kind of go into the whole describing what person soul is in each puppet.
All right. Yeah.
And they go over that, and they were friends with Andre Toulon. And I mean, yeah, it's hard to watch this movie and not know all that stuff. Like, I can't remember how I felt about this movie without that knowledge. Because, you're just kind of here, and he had some evil puppets, and they attack people, and that's about it, and
yeah,
definitely goes into a little bit more detail, and it does get better as the movies go on. So, yeah.
I think maybe because it does fill in those holes. Because, this movie tells you nothing.
You got a Egyptian scroll. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
And again, I'm always from the camp of like, the less you know, the scarier it is.
Totally.
To have such outlandish puppets and outlandish concepts that are going on in this movie and not give any definition of what this world's about.
Yeah. And they could have summed it up by just even the paper that he pulled out, the scroll could have had some sort of like how to build a puppet or how to, move a soul into a body, and just a little diagram that could have just summed that up real quickly.
Surprise.
Knife to meet ya.
Yes. Welcome to the show, Blake.
Yep. That is brutal.
That's a knife.
If you didn't, I would have.
Yeah, I believe that.
You're so useless. You haven't done anything.
Beetlejuice.
He's just looking around.
Manny faces.
He slept through this whole movie almost. Like,
me too.
That's
too close to home.
I was trying to audibly hide my yawns, but I'm like, no, this is a commentary. I should be letting people know what I think of this.
Oh,
But at least there's fun characters.
Yeah, like great value Dennis Miller here.
no!
Uh,
Hi.
That's a good one.
Well, this is Andrew Moller's one of his favorite movies. I hope he leaves us a good comment of why he feels that way. I mean, the overall, the sum of all these movies is pretty cool.
Well, I'm glad we had Blake on because none of us had anything
Sure
nice
about
to say. So
I don't hate this movie.
Yeah.
I don't hate it either so far. I mean, I'm not really, crazy
you're
about
trying
it.
to find something nice to say and you can't.
Well, the thing is, though, this really doesn't feel like a number
like the-
one.
Yeah, this
Part
feels like a
three is
number
definitely-
2 for sure.
Number
Okay.
number 3 is definitely like it's definitely more of a first movie, and then I would do number 2, skip this one actually, and did do 4 and 5 because this doesn't really play into anything else. It's just kind of there as its own whatever.
How'd you feel about the remake?
I really was shocked by a lot of it, which was great. Like I love the opening. The opening was great with the animation, and just kind of doing some nods to the fans of. But I thought Udo Kerr was, hey, have him in this movie. Like if you could get him in a movie, put him in a movie.
Yeah.
So, I'm really excited if they continue to further that. Like I do find it funny that I think it was at Walmart they had the 4K edition for like $6. I was like, I really want to get that at some point.
Awesome.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too.
I thought it was creative. I mean, and for the budget the way it was had really good actors in it, and yeah, solid movie.
If
And
we
then-
ever do, which one is it that has Greg Sestero in it?
Oh, it's the retro, I think, Puppet Masters. It's when Andre Toulon was 20, and that's who Greg played.
Ooh.
Well, we'll have him on for the commentary for that one.
Okay.
I can't remember if I have that one. I think
Probably a copy. It's probably like a coaster or something under a glass. Look for it.
Doesn't the new one have like a puppet that's got a helicopter head or something?
Yes, there is like apparently like,
Crazy.
there's a crap load of puppets. I really want to get the frog,
Yeah,
and I have the skull blade one, but the frog they've actually made us 3D sculpt that, and I've seen images and it looks really good. So I just thought that was a really cool puppet, especially the one that attached itself to the guy's back and was controlling the body.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
That thing was messed up. Well, obviously the baby one was messed up, but yikes.
At least someone's wearing a mask.
One's using protection.
I have no idea what the fuck's happening, to be honest.
I'll be honest with you, I've seen this a million times and I still don't know what's going on.
Is this
I don't
is he
know what
supposed
either.
to be a ventriloquist dummy?
I think he's
That guy's the guy that's supposed to be dead.
Right.
now. Did he use okay? So it's a dream still. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's still the dream.
He's still in his bed too. Like an hour and 28 minutes, give or take, and he's just still in bed, hanging out. How do you hire an actor and ask him to do that? Like
Those are the
you
only
just lay in
roles
bed?
he takes. Yeah.
What
you
the
ever-
friggity fuck?
You got triple head. Do you
Still
wake
in
up?
bed.
Oh, make
dream
up your
within a dream.
goddamn mind.
You ever
hope I
seen
wake up soon.
Misery? James Caan stays in bed the entire fucking time.
Yeah, but Kathy Bates,
Lazy.
at least that would be enjoyable.
They keep switching up this story. I'm kind of with Tad. I think I'd rather be in bed. I'd rather be sleeping.
Oh.
Maybe they purposely made the movie confusing just to make it jarring, or I don't think anything was purposely done. I
I
think
was going to say, they'll
we don't
go
have
with
a
that.
plot. We don't have a plot, so we're going to have some puppets, and
Fucking wing it, people.
you're going to
Work
have bad hair and just hang out in your room.
with it. Sleep for a while.
Yeah, this movie definitely has the nostalgia effect for me. Like I remember seeing it real young, and you just remember the puppet stuff.
Yeah, you do.
And what
they're
is.
doing that well. They're doing
and
that really well, I think.
all this other stuff, yeah, I don't know how well it holds up, but
Just get to the puppets.
Crazy to have 5 minutes of puppets in a movie that's like, an hour and probably 40 minutes or something, or however long it is. But I get they don't want to do stop motion all the time and it's expensive and time consuming, but I don't just show puppets here or there or shadows. I'll take shadows. Anything.
Get back to the POV
Yeah,
stuff.
the POV stuff.
Yeah, POV. Yeah,
POV with the heavy breathing.
Did they leave that camera somewhere and forgot to use it, or?
Well, and as you get later in the films, you see a lot more of just, people taking the puppets and just using them by hand off camera.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's kind of blatantly obvious, but I'd still take that,
Well, David Allen, who did all the puppeteering, the stop motion and stuff, he passed away before the 6th one came out, I think. And that's why all the stop motion completely ended.
Well, doing 5 of these movies will kill anyone.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Probably stopped his heart. Yeah.
Now they just have to stop motion him.
Oh, man, I don't know who this Tad is, but he's also funny. I don't want to say
he's kind of cool.
There is a new Puppet Master movie coming out like in the next month or two, by the way.
Oh, really?
And it's about Blade.
Oh,
it's like Iron Cross or something like that.
Now, I'm assuming it's back into Full Moon's hands, back into Charles's hands.
Yeah, he's. Yeah, I'll look it up and see.
Which means it will be in no one's hands.
The Puppet Masturbator.
Yeah.
Definitely won't be a Tango production. Anybody cares to watch it?
God, that sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that white room again.
Where's my dad?
That's what's
They paid a lot to rent this, so they're going to use it as much as they can.
Right.
I'm going to shoot this dog in the head.
Oh, he's got one of those chocolate guns.
This dog's going to die. Why do I keep falling asleep? Oh.
It's the Dream Master.
He's got narcolepsy.
Yes.
We only have this hallway. That's all.
See, they could have done some stuff where they dug through Andre Toulon's stuff that was back there in the hallway and did some, discover new stuff, but no.
I don't know that. At this point, they could dig through Andre 3000 stuff, and it'd be more interesting.
I think they're just going down the same flight of stairs over and over again.
And over.
But we got to make sure to show every fucking flight.
Yeah.
Running time, man. Gotta get them.
Literal running time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot my keys.
He's got a fart.
I gotta go to bed again. Sorry.
I'm tired.
I'm sleepy. Okay, I'm up.
I'm so hungry. I thought about dinner. Let's go to the kitchen.
You have to run
fucking door. Oh.
Wait, is he asleep again? Okay.
These are the heads I saw on my bed.
They look so happy.
It's me trying to get through this movie.
Oh.
Don't give that chick a PB&J again. He's like a fucking slob.
Hello.
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 I mean, there's probably movies I don't mind it, but most of the time I feel like movies that have to propel the story with flashbacks, it's never that strong to start with, is it?
It depends.
Yeah.
Like for exposition?
Yes. And to tell the story.
Yeah, but where's the line? Because there's always the rule of show, don't tell.
The Tunneler and the Jester puppet, I believe, are in the Hollywood. Oh gosh, not the Hard Rock Cafe thing, but it's the Hollywood. They're in like glass cases, Hard Rock or something like that. I don't know. They're playing at Hollywood.
Playing at Hollywood?
Yeah, that's where it's at. I saw some images. I was like, I'm just gonna break the glass and take those. They don't care. They're like, "What did
I
you
was
do? Like, took a puppet?" They're
They'd be
"Oh,
like, we've been trying to get people to take these for years.
it says please take me at the bottom. Nobody wants it."
The only Planet Hollywood I've ever been to is the one at the Mall of America.
Yep.
And they had a Tom Servo and Crow in glass. Yeah. I've got a picture in front of it somewhere.
I saw they have like at one of them they have like an old Don Post 85 Michael Myers mask, and they claim it was used in John Carpenter's Halloween.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously all that stuff is freaking replicated. There's no way any of it's freaking really screen used. When every single one has a naked Sylvester Stallone from Demolition Man in it, you know it's not all screen used stuff.
Well, that's real screen used Sylvester Stallone.
Now, Blake, do you have a stuffed puppy dog? Just
No, I ended up going with just the. I think the one thing the stuffed one is the Pinhead. Like Pinhead is actually, I got this rubberized hands on eBay that were really cool to actually put him that fit like dwarf hand like, and then he's basically foam, but he's got a skeletal body through his actual thing. He's probably one of my favorite. He's like obviously the least work that had to be done for the puppets, but yeah.
You can't play favorites with all your children.
Blade actually has a real knife and a hook, so I am always a little scared if he ever wants to fall off and land in my bed.
How ironic would that be if like his puppets actually killed him?
I'd be okay with that. At least
that'd be a cool way to go.
It would be like, oh man, what a day.
But definitely send pictures, man. Got to see
of
those.
him being killed?
No, was it just of his puppets?
Oh, the puppets are getting pissed. I don't know why, but they're getting
I hope Blake's watching this with like all of his puppets behind him watching the movie too.
Yes, they're on his lap.
Jason, I'll send you photos though.
Yeah, please do. We'll use them when we put out the episode.
Oh.
Does yours do that, Blake?
I wish. They actually have motorized ones to do it. Like Tunneler, you can get a little spindle thing that goes in the head.
That seems like it would be more plausible than like the 3-section head. That would probably be a little more mechanical.
I have the sad face.
Yeah, those are awesome, dude.
Photos. This is the most I get usually out of people asking me about puppets. I was like, I'll take some photos.
Yeah, those are super cool.
All I've got is I have a Leech Woman action figure.
I know Flyboys collected a lot of those figures. And
yeah. I remember in the old video zones when they were advertising those when they first came out. There was a video store in Oskaloosa that had all of them for sale. I wish I would have gone them back in the day. It was called Jack's Video. It's the freaking coolest video store ever. Oh, that's awesome.
I actually miss Suncoast Video just because they used to have a lot of toys that were on sale.
Yeah, Suncoast Video.
Really good variety.
Suncoast Video was awesome.
It was so expensive when you think about how much DVDs were back then. It's
yeah.
Crazy.
Ooh, Pinhead's pissed. Just going to call the other Cenobites.
Oh, I knew that was a matter of time.
No one's made an aggressive hand job joke yet.
Earlier today when I did a Google search on, Puppet Master characters, and it came up with like Leech Woman and showing pictures. It's like Leech Woman and Tunneler and Pinhead, but the picture they used for Pinhead was Pinhead from Hellraiser. Oh, Google.
Could you go? Could you go?
If that's all it took to stop him, that's
Blake's like, "How dare you? That's puppet abuse."
That's true.
He's no longer mint.
You're going to jail.
Ow, 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 fuck. Oof.
That's what you get for wearing a fucking tie like that.
I was just gonna say that. I was just like,
That tie's worse than this movie.
Oh.
Christ Almighty! That's like Miami Vice wouldn't even
I
let
was
that
just-
shit happen.
Uh-huh.
I like it.
Would.
Yeah, because it looks like something Weird Al would wear on a shirt.
That's right.
Or something Tony Montana would have done coke off of.
Jeez.
Is Tuller going to do some ninja skills? Did you see his
Yeah.
pose?
Oh, yeah.
Fucking head fell off. All right.
Chicoo.
I've made a terrible mistake.
I have no upper body strength.
Yeah, that shit would be tough.
I've been shooting myself in the head for too long. My arms have atrophied.
Oh,
Like,
he's
do you have
screwed.
any idea how long it took me to get up here?
There's Blade.
Gonna pose.
I imagine
Oh, God,
some.
yeah,
Oh, ah.
yeah, big
production-
baby. Wasn't even. He was screaming before anything happened.
In some production meeting, they're like, and he's going to have blades in his eyes.
Well, they actually did green blood to avoid an X rating. But
Yep.
that was intriguing.
That's unrealistic.
He's
Got
very
the whole Freddy
I was going to
Krueger.
say phantasm.
Yeah.
Only the fingers aren't turning into bugs.
Of course, Phantasm looked more like egg yolk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he definitely has the Freddy squirt going.
Yeah.
This is God.
Pop that head like a zit.
Mm.
Does he have a headache? Why is he rubbing his temples?
So consider it.
This sh-
Make a hole, and then we gotta wait 5 minutes for her to puke up a leech.
Ooh, leech
She
woman.
can't do anything by herself, so we have to get all the puppets here just to help.
pinned him to the. Oh. He's gonna pick that shit out of his teeth.
Pinhead needs a shave.
Or he's gonna barf a leech into his mouth.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Eventually, a prune.
Yeah, I was going to say, take your sweet fucking time.
That's leech.
And she's the most useless puppet ever.
It really is. Oh yeah, help me get that in there. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, boys.
That reminds me of something.
Hmm.
Oh, she's got a headache.
I said eat it. Ew. Ew.
Ugh.
That's what you get.
What does the jester puppet do? Does he ever get his hands dirty?
He just changes heads, and like what's really sad is in the second one, the puppets are running out of their juice or their elixir, and Jester is sick, so he just sits in a chair the whole movie. Like they were like, well, he doesn't really have any weapon or anything that he could do, and so yeah, he just sits in a chair.
So kind of like how this guy slept half the movie. It's,
Yep,
oh,
pretty
oh.
much.
I'm waiting for the pirate ship to come out.
I was expecting Charlton Heston on a horse to come be like, see the Statue of Liberty.
Well, I feel rested.
That was the best night's sleep I've had in years.
What were those puppet things? Let's get out of here.
You dream that too?
He's like, could you please put the rug back on the floor and stop wearing it?
Were you dancing with a guy last night, and did he put a gun to your head?
Did the cops just not show up, or did they just clean up the bodies? Or
Dog raises its leg and pisses on the fucking whatever that is, that lacy thing.
Doily, is that what they're called?
Yes.
I still am completely lost as to what happened, but
Yeah.
I'm going to take a guess that dude wanted to live forever, and so he like had the puppets help him like share the secret, and yeah, it didn't work out for him, and apparently that dog's alive now.
Yeah.
right. I was like, it's fucking moving now. You act surprised as if you haven't seen. You're supposed to be the puppet master in this.
That dog is not going to do well climbing stairs.
It's adorable.
That's why he froze up and got help the entire movie.
The dog
That's
was
the
actually,
end.
the dog was actually the most convincing actor throughout the whole film. So
Oh,
So that's Puppet Master.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, sorry.
Things we do for the attackers.
if after he hears this, he might not be an attacker.
He has to know. He has to know. I don't know. Maybe it's the sum total of the series that makes Puppet Master cool.
Puppet Captain!
You know,
Woman at Carnival, how dare you?
I know. She deserves more, at least a character name.
Right.
Peter Frampton, assassin number 1.
Yeah, so that's Puppet Master.
When was this movie come out?
1989.
I was gonna say it feels 90s, so that makes sense as late 80s. It feels like an early 90s movie.
and there's like 5 minutes credits.
Of course there is.
Uh-huh.
Pat
It
up.
took a lot of people to make this pile of shit.
Hey.
Some of the names are made up.
They're probably going to be playing this weird harpsichordal violin music on a loop too. Fuck.
Hey, the puppet stuff was
not that
awesome.
bad.
Yeah.
I do like how in some of these scenes, they literally just throw the puppets or pull their heads off, because that's what we'd all do if like we're getting attacked by a toy. Like,
Yeah, it's like that joke always with Chucky. It's like,
Yeah, you need.
be scared of
Notice
him.
how they need animal wranglers to, wrangle up that stuffed dog.
three of them, critters of cinema.
It was for the leeches, guys.
Wait.
For that guy's hairpiece.
That's probably more accurate.
They had to wrangle it to keep it on the entire movie.
Yeah,
This music is fucking awful.
For puppeteer.
Thank you.
To get this did say on IMDb it took like 4 or 5 puppeteers to work Blade.
Yeah, 5. Or
Is that how many Valium that guy took? So he had to sleep through like the whole movie. Not that he would need it.
He could just go back and watch his own movie. He'd fall right back asleep.
Yeah. Or may just, follow suit like what the main character did and blow his fucking brains out.
Man, it got dark fast. You guys just really right there at the end.
It's a horror podcast.
You're
It's supposed to be
getting
dark.
It's not that
Special thanks to Bob Barker.
Not that bad.
No.
Bob Baker, come on.
Oh, well, have your pet spayed or neutered anyway.
And stuffed.
That's
And stuff, yeah.
extra spade.
Band's father is Albert Band. He was a director in his own right as well. Probably one of my favorite films that he did was I Bury the Living. Is a really good flick. Full Moon Productions. So that is it for the Puppet Master commentary. Thank you, Andrew Moller.
Thank you.
I for one am happy that I finally got to see it again, and thanks to you, now I'm definitely going to go and watch 2 and 3, if not more. But
Yeah, you know what? For as much shit as I talked, at least it was fun, and I could joke with my friends, and that's all that matters.
Totally.
That's right.
and I would think, like, no matter what the movie is, the attackers have got to know that we're going to.
Some of this is going to happen, no matter how good the movie is.
We're going to poke fun.
Oh yeah.
I would never pick
God.
my favorite movie for you guys to watch.
Good point.
All right, so now that that's done, that's it. No, that's not it. There's still more show to go. But first, I just want to just say, if you like this show, check out all the other shows on our very own podcast network, the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, or the PFPN. You can check it out at the PFPN, right? PFPN.com. So we'll be right back, and when we do come back, it'll be segments time here on the show.
If only there was a song about it.
Ooh.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
We're back, and there's still more show to go because it's segment time, and it's time for everybody's favorite segment, shout outs.
It's time for
Shout outs! Shout outs! Shout outs! Shout outs! Shout outs!
That's right, everybody's favorite segment. So we start over on our Facebook group edition. We asked, what's your favorite puppet character from the whole Puppet Master series? And we'll ask Blake this at the end, maybe what his favorite of all time is. I'm curious to know. But let's get to what you guys said. And up first, we got Andrew Moller himself.
Hey, yay!
Thanks again, Andrew. And his choice was Blade. Classic, man.
Totally.
He's the leader. He's the most badass. That's a good one. Then over on our regular Facebook page, we got a bunch. We got Brandy Moore, Attacker Brandy. We know her.
Yay, Brandy! Woo!
I was gonna say you better cheer, buddy.
You better say something.
Sorry,
Yeah, you're so dead.
Oh, see.
Like wasn't paying attention because I'm already talking with her.
And she says it's a toss-up between Leech Woman and Six Shooter. Leech Woman's backstory is just freaking awesome, and Six Shooter is, well, pretty damn badass.
Heck yeah! And actually, it also said in IMDb on like one of Charles Band's original concepts for Puppet was a ninja with 6 arms, and that eventually, I guess, morphed into a 6-shooter down the road in the franchise.
Nice. And then we got Attacker Tim Linnerer says Greg Sestero because he's in Puppet Master 7 and also.
Woo!
Then we got Brian Clark, our buddy. He says Torch. I love the design of his head with the glowing eyes set into that helmet and the bullet teeth. Plus, fire rules. And he's got a picture of Beavis doing some fire. Yep. And Dave Bowen says seconded. Yeah, I'll agree. Jake Book says Blade for sure. Willis Wheeler, he says Blade. And then we got Don and Nelly. He says Blade may be iconic, but I kind of like 6-shooter as a design and execution standpoint. But fuck you all for not making Cuddly Bear the true star of the franchise an option in this category. Cuddly Bear. And then over on Twitter, we got Greg Mortis from Land of the Creeps. At Greg Mortis. He says, Blade is a clear winner, but Jester was awesome as well. He likes Jester. And then lastly, over on Instagram, we got the Collis clone. That's Vito. Vito was on our last episode, and he loves the Puppet Master. He says, Decapitron. I mean, how damn cool is that electricity generator / machine gun head attachment? He's pretty cool. And then Unsung Heroes. That's Erica's new podcast coming soon, October 1st on the PFPN.
Sweet.
You'll want to check it out. It'll be a lot of fun. Good show. She says, Leech Woman. Hashtag women supporting women. And then lastly, we got Late Night Psychorama. They say Blade. And that's all we have. You can also give us a call sometime on our voicemail and leave us a voicemail letting us know your comments, and we'll play them on the show. You can call us at 415-952-6857 or 415-95-AOTKP, and that's shout-outs. And that might be the show.
That is the show. No Insane's picks for this episode. But we still have to ask
Blake, what's your favorite? Who's your favorite puppet?
I'm gonna say Torch, just because personally for me it took a long time to get that puppet, and I thought for a puppet that was on the poster for part 4 but never in the movie and got put in part 5, apparently he was supposed to be seen and they deleted it, but I thought he was one of those puppets that, I don't know, plus in part 2 what he does to a child is pretty hilarious. So, I mean, hey, I'm all for that. That's hilarious. So, and the fire is cool. So,
nice.
I'm gonna cast my vote. And one that I don't think got represented.
Okay.
If it did, I missed it. I'm voting for Tunneler.
Tunneler's cool.
Yeah, he's cool.
Because I feel like
he brings the pain.
As far as the horror gore fan in me, he has the potential to be the bloodiest as far as inflicting damage and pain. Like, just the, scene of him, drilling in the back of the guy's leg or whatnot. Just awesome stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the show. That's it for this episode of Attack of the Killer podcast. I want to thank Blake for being on. Thanks, buddy, for joining us again.
Thank you for dealing with me. I appreciate it.
And Tad seems like he took it kind of easy on you tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had the movie to rip apart instead.
Exactly.
So thanks everybody out there for listening, and we will talk to you on the next episode of Attack of the Killer podcast.
Oh no, could this be the end of? Attack of the Killer podcast. 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 It's the end of the show. Bye. See you next time.
Hey, it's Jason. Show's over. I got this message from Insane Mike. He didn't have the heart to come and tell you guys this himself. He needs your help, and he's a fragile guy. He needs you to know that you're behind him and you're on his side. So look, he wanted me to come and say a few words at the end of the show here. So first, thanks for listening. Second, thanks for subscribing. And third, head over to jointheattackers.com and find out how you can support Insane Mike and become an attacker today.